These are the common modes of learning delivery. Number 1 is face-to-face. The whole learning session takes place between the facilitator and the learners in the place in real time, in a group learning session or individual tutoral. Number 2 is independent. The learners learn by herself using learning tools and self-instructional materials or modules. It may involve interactive computer-based instruction. Number 3 is peer learning. It is broad sweep of activities ranging from discussion, study groups, tutoring, or mentoring using a buddy system, collaborating on a project, and community activities. Number 4 is blended. It is a teaching-learning combination involving computer, internet-based instruction, face-to-face facilitator-aided learning, and independent study. Number 5 is e-eskwela. A&E learning modules converted into digital formats are being used by the learners. Digitalized modules are stored in CDs and local services on the e-eskwela center. To date, there are 143 digitalized A&E core modules. Number 6 is radio-based instruction or RBI. The main objective of this program is to provide learning opportunities to radio listeners through broadcast of ALS lesson in a local community radio station. It is managed by the radio station with the learning facilitators. Number 8 is immersion. It is simulated workplace experience for the student to develop industry-based competencies. The term teaching method refers to the general principles, pedagogy, and management strategies used for classroom instruction. Your choice of teaching method depends on what fits you, your educational philosophy, classroom demography, subject areas, and school mission statement. Teaching theories can be organized into 4 categories based on 2 major parameters: a teacher-centered approach versus a student-centered approach, and high-tech material use versus low-tech material use. Four stages of adult learning. Stage 1 is activity. Learning experiences through a learning activity. Learners experiences and acquire new knowledge and skills. Stage 2 is linking new knowledge and skills to existing experiences. Learners need time to process or analyze their experiences. New knowledge and skills have been linked to what they already know and can do. They have to think about how they can use their new knowledge. Stage 3 is abstraction, demonstrating, generalizing new skills. Through processing or analyzing a new experiences in linking them with existing experience. This is a process of generalization and abstraction. Stage 4 is application, practical application of a new knowledge and skills. The final stage in the learning model is practical application and trying out of new skills and learning. Successful application leads to learning beginning a new activity and beginning a new 4A cycle. It recognizes that life experiences are rich resources for continued learning. Learning facilitators are expected to analyze the learner's past experiences and relate those current lessons. Teaching method comprises the principles and method used by the teacher to enable student learning. These strategies are determined partly on subject matter to be taught and partly by the and partly by the nature of learner-centered. For a particular teaching, methods to be appropriate and efficient. It has to be in relation with the characteristics of the learner and the type of learning it is supposed to bring about. Suggestions are there to design and selection of teaching methods must take into account not only the nature of the subject but also how students learn. Number 1 is lecturing. The lecture method is just one of the several teaching methods, though in school it is usually considered the primary one. The lecture method is convenient for the institution and cost efficient, especially with larger classroom size. Number 2 is demonstrating. Demonstrating, which is also called the coaching style or the lecture consideration method. It is the process of teaching through examples or experiments. The framework mixes the instructional strategies of information in part on showing how. Number 3 is collaborating. Collaboration allows students to actively participate in the learning process by talking with each other and listening to the other opinions. Collaboration establishes a personal connection between students and the topic of study, and it helps students think in a less personally biased way. Group projects and discussion are examples of the teaching method. Teachers may employ collaboration to assess students' abilities to work as a team. Number 4 is classroom discussion. The most common type of collaborative method of teaching in class is classroom discussion. It is also a democratic way of handling a class, where each student is given equal opportunity to interact and put forth of their views. A discussion taking place in a classroom can be either facilitated by a teacher or by us. Number 5 is debriefing. The term debriefing refers to the conventional session that revolves around the sharing and examining of information after a specific event has taken place. Depending on the situation, debriefing can serve as a variety of purposes. It takes the consideration, the experiences, and facilitates reflection and feedback. Number 6 is classroom action research. Classroom action research is a method of finding out what works best in your own classroom so that you can improve student learning. We know a great deal about good in teaching general, but in every teaching situation is unique in terms of content, level, student skills, and learning styles, teacher skills and teaching styles, and many factors. To maximize student learning, a teacher may find out what works best in a particular situation. Each teaching and research method, model, and family is essential to the practices of technology students. Teachers have their strengths and weaknesses. And adapt particular models to complement strengths and contradict weaknesses. Strategies aim to promote critical and reflective thinking, research, and evaluation skills that will help students to take positive action to protect, enhance, and advocate their own and others' health, well-being, and safety. Students use potential and social capability to work. Students use personal and social capability to work collaboratively with others in learning activities. To appreciate their own strengths and abilities and those of their peers and develop a range of interpersonal skills such as communication, negotiation, teamwork, leadership, and an appreciation of diverse perspectives. The learning activities and strategies have been organized under the basic elements of an inquiry process. Number 1 is tuning in. Strategies provide opportunity for students to explore their current knowledge, attitudes, and values about health and safety issues. While working independently and collaboratively, students can use suggestive graphic organizer to record and share information. Teachers will also be able to use evidence gathered from students' responses to plan program to cater the needs of students. Number 2 is finding out. Strategies help students identify gaps in their existing knowledge and understanding of key health, safety, and resilience and well-being concepts, and work collaboratively to gather information. Self-directed investigation, students will be able to use information gathered to generate and communicate ideas and record responses. Number 3 is sorting out. Strategies encourage students to sort, analyze, organize, review, compare, and contrast information to further develop and consolidate their knowledge and understanding skills, attitudes, and values. Summarizing key information and clarifying relationship or association between information and ideas will assist students to draw conclusion and apply their understanding. Number 4 is reflecting. Strategies allow students to identify, discuss, and consider changes in their understanding, skills, attitudes, and value. Many students with disabilities are able to achieve education standard commensuration with their peers, provided necessary adjustments are made to the way in which they are taught and to the means to which they demonstrate their learning. Teachers can adapt the delivery of activities and strategies in the resource to ensure students with disability can access, participate, and achieve in the same basis as their peers. Facilitating values education. Health and physical education issues require students to consider their own beliefs, values, attitudes, behaviors. Teacher conducting values learning activities should act as a facilitator and remain non-judgmental of students who display beliefs that may not agree with their particular stance on an issue. Teachers should also make students aware that sometimes people form opinions without being well informed. Personal experiences